Thank you, and B'rshut Rabbanim, thank you very much for having me for a minute. As Brother Rav said, I spent almost 16 years on Wall Street, made a fortune, lost a fortune, and realized that it all meant nothing, except the fact that at the end I actually discovered the truth. The question that the rabbis always have to ask themselves, about their keilot, about their grandkids and the future, is how certain are you that the grandkids in 1 or 2 generations from now are going to remain Jewish? This is one big question that many people are not asking themselves, especially in the frum world, because you're frum. And most people simply don't realize that almost 80% of Am Yisrael are not even Shomer Torah mitzvot, not keep Shabbat. And as the Rabbi said, that the Goyim can bring a Korban at the Bet HaMikdash, but the Gemara says that a Mechalal Shabbat cannot bring a Korban to the Bet HaMikdash. Now, Arav Wasserman Alav Shalom had a tough time at one point. He was looking to collect tzedakah money for his yeshiva, and he decided to go to America. And in America, a certain Rav Bunim told him, listen, for the Rav, to save yourself the trip, you're one of the Gedolei Ador, instead of going from bite to bite, why don't you go to this one person that's called Pinchas, but he calls himself Peter. He says, why should I go to Pinchas? He says, because Pinchas was learned with you in yeshiva when you were little. He says, okay, so let's call Pinchas, let's go. He says, no, Kvod Rav, you have to go by yourself. Why do I have to go by myself? He says, because Pinchas / Peter is a kofer. After he left the yeshiva, he got into the business world, and he decided that the business world is much more fun than the Torah world. And the Satan gave him a lot of money, and he forgot Torah and mitzvot, and he became a kofer that had a lot of money. He says, so why don't you want to come with me? He says, because he hates it. Not only he doesn't donate, but he hates us. At least, if he embarrasses us, we're local, so it's a busha for us. It's not nice. But you're from Lita. Yeah, you go back, you're not going to notice it. No one's going to know. He says, okay, so let's call Pinchas. So he calls, and he asks for Peter. And he said, Peter is very busy, he cannot answer the phone. And a few days later he calls again and says, is Peter there? And Peter cannot answer the phone. But the third day, B'siyata Dishmaya, Peter answers the phone himself and he says, Elchanan, what are you doing here? And he says, I'm here to visit you. He says, you come to visit me? Come, of course, I'd love to see you. I haven't seen you in so many years. So he went to Manhattan and he visited him. And after Pinchas / Peter shows him the place, he says, well, you, Elchanan, what have you done? And he said, well, I studied under this Rabbi, and eventually I became one of the Talmidim of the Chafetz Chaim. And then I opened a yeshiva, and I have this amount of students, and I'm here. Says, so he saw himself starting to hate himself, because he realized that in his past he had the same opportunities as Elchanan. Now Rav Wasserman. He says, well, why are you here? Rav Wasserman said, I just wanted to see you. He says, okay, you wanted to see me, but for what? He wanted to hear it, and he wants money. Because at least, he says, I have something to offer this big rabbi. But at this moment, Rav Wasserman found himself not wanting Pinchas's money. He felt so bad for Pinchas that he became Peter, that he said that his money is not welcome here. And he said, I don't want anything from you. I just wanted to say hello. He says, but yeah, why did you come all the way here? He said, well, to tell you the truth, you see my jacket, the button is falling off. And if it falls off and one of the Talmidim sees it, he's going to think Jewish people are poor, and it's a Chilul Hashem. And I heard that you have a big factory, maybe you can fix my button. And he says, you came all the way here for a button? He says, yes. I heard, can you help me? Yes, what can I do? He brings somebody, he doesn't know what to do with himself. He has so many employees, and he says, I fix one button. What's the problem? Fix the button. So he fixes the button, and he says, okay, so now, I know, obviously, between us, you didn't come here for the button. Why'd you come? He goes, no, I have to go now, thank you, and he leaves. Peter Peter/Pinchas cannot sleep. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, he starts calling around trying to look for Rav Wasserman, looking and looking and looking. And eventually he finds him and he gets him on the phone. He says, Kvod Arav, I have to find out. I cannot sleep, I cannot eat, I cannot breathe. I have to find out, why are you here? He says, I came here for a button. What's the problem? He says, it doesn't make any sense. I know you for many years. Please tell me. He says, I can come to your place now and discuss it with you. He gets there and he explains to him, I'm here just for the button. He says, but I don't understand. Why would you come all the way from Lita, 2 weeks on a boat, just for a button? He says, oh, it bothers you. It bothers you that I was on a boat for 2 weeks just for a button. But what about your neshama that traveled hundreds and hundreds of light years from Rakia to Rakia? And the Gemara Masechet Chagat actually explains it's 500 light years from in between each Rakia. And the Rakia itself is another 500 light years. And it's thousands of light years, and myself and Rabbi Ephraim actually discovered it's over 16 million years to travel from Olam HaEmet to here. And you came here for what? To make a button. So I helped you. I wanted you to make a button, because that's what you do. Rabotai Yekarim, many Jews exist in the world, but they live the life of a button, just like I did. Because they don't know what Hashem is. They don't know what Torah is. They don't know what the Shas is. Our job at Bezrat Hashem is to help them discover the point. Help them discover why they're not a button, why there's more significance to life than just making money.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.